Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back for yet another video. Today we're going to be talking about The Last of Us Season 2 as the early reviews are in, and they're mostly positive. You have your handful of negative ones or people that just didn't quite get it, I guess. But for the most part, they are pretty positive, and people are saying how it's darker and more violent and everything like that. And so that leads me to believe they're probably going to stay pretty on par as far as the game is concerned, because the game story is rather violent. It's heartbreaking. That was another thing that I saw in an article. And so I can safely say that if you're familiar with the game, you won't be surprised with the trauma that will come along with this one, as we saw with the game and everything 5 years ago, which is ridiculous to say that it's already been 5 years since that game came out. And I can still say that I have not played that game all the way through more than once. That game definitely traumatized me, and definitely broke my heart as far as being attached to certain characters and everything. I won't give anything away for people that aren't familiar with it, but we can safely assume that season 2, as far as this part of it, is going to stay on course with what the game did and everything, and they're not going to deviate away from it, regardless of what people might say and everything. Because if you're not familiar with the game, there was a very divided fan base of how that game was received and how the story went along and the sacrifices and the things that just happened in that game. There is this whole just thing with how people receive that game. It was very traumatizing and very heartbreaking and all just things like that, where it was a hard pill to swallow considering the attachment we had formed to certain characters and everything. So it looks like season 2 is definitely going to go that way, and along with that too, and I just saw this earlier today, and I think it just became official today, that Last of Us has been officially renewed for season 3, because they always said that they wanted to take that second game and divvy it up into at least maybe 2 or 3 seasons, and it looks like at this point we are getting 2 separate seasons for the second game. And there's always been talks of season 4 as well, that Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann wanted to do that. And we can say that for those of us who played the game and everything, they're probably going to do it from different viewpoints of the main characters of the game and everything. So it looks like we're going to get that season 3. It's been officially announced, and of course this weekend is the premiere of season 2, so I'm definitely just very stoked about that and just what they do with it, and exactly what will, if anything, because it looks like it's not going to be, but it looks like they could change a little bit. But my assumption is that they won't change much at all, because they want to stay true to the game and everything, regardless of how much it just destroyed people when they hit certain parts of that game. But we are getting a season 3, and more than likely I imagine we'll get a season 4. But beyond that, they have no plans to do anything. They don't have any plans to do any original content. And with the rumors of the fact that a third game is probably not in the cards right now, because Neil Druckmann, he's kind of gone back and forth on it, where he says don't count on a second game, and then he says, if the right story comes up or something like that. So right now we just have the second game to work with, and it looks like they will cut it up into at least 2 different sections, possibly 3. So there is that, and I'm just ready to see how this turns out, because you do have your negative reviews. People say that it didn't capture the same magic or whatever as the first season. But I just find that hard to believe, because the first season was so good and they took their time filming this. I mean, it's been 2 years since we got the first season, so they've had 2 years to film the second season. I imagine it'll be 2 years before we get the next season, and so on. So I am my expectations are set pretty high. But, there's always the chance of disappointment, because that was the case with the second game. I went into that game after waiting 7 years, and it definitely disappointed me on some levels. I mean, the gameplay and, the enhanced graphics and everything of it being a next generation game, it was definitely better, but there were surely things that did not meet expectations, or just the story didn't go the way we wanted it to. But there's always that chance and everything, and with the possibility of, maybe not the possibility, but maybe the chance of a third game, and I'm hoping they go that way, and because I think they left things unanswered, and there are things that they could approach, or there's different possibilities at least for a third game. But anyways, that's just the news I want to share today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, if you like Last of Us, be sure to come back out for my reviews that I will cover every episode. And if you did enjoy, please leave your likes, leave your comments, consider subscribing, come back for more content just like this, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.